Jane gave me a very good tip this morning. What have we got at the back? And our childhood biscuit of choice would have to be, I think as you become older, you find what you enjoy doing the most. Look at all of these. I can't speak. It is honestly the most perfect spring day. Good morning and welcome back. Hope you are well this week and that you are at home and ready to settle in, because we have got, as you can see, a gloriously sunny, quite warm, they think it may be the warmest day so far, spring vlog. Good morning, Roo. Isn't it nice out here? Listen to all the birds. I think it's going to be a beautiful day today. Well, if you didn't know already, I'm over at my sister's house. It's around 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. I am over for a sister weekend, a gardening sister weekend, which just makes me so incredibly happy. I am up and about early this morning. Jane is off playing tennis. She'll be back soon. So I am dog sitting, I have to say. You probably know Roo already, maybe from the Peak District vlogs. He is honestly the most calming, quiet dog I have ever known. I am sitting somewhere very special. I mentioned this in my last vlog. This is Mum's bench. So Mum used to have this bench in her garden, and Jane and I have been very lucky to have this bench restored by Jane's father-in-law. And it now sits pride of place looking over my sister's lovely spring garden, which I'll tell you more about later on. And it just feels so nice to sit here. Of course it has a plaque. It says Mum's bench, let's have a cup of tea in the garden. And that's because she always used to say that. She had this bench at the side of her shed in her garden, and it would look out across her garden, but as well as neighbouring gardens where we used to live. There would be like rows of gardens, and everyone had their gardens open, so you could see the vegetable patches in the next door neighbour's garden. You'd have a chat, that sort of thing. And she would sit on the bench as soon as spring would be here, spring through to summer and into autumn. She would be out on this bench, and it's so wonderful that we've had it restored. We could not be more thankful that it's here and it's in this prime position in Jane's garden. I'm super excited to be spending this absolutely beautiful spring day with you today. As you know, I absolutely love being outside amongst nature, hearing the birds sing. The sun is shining, but it's not too hot. There's this early morning coolness. I think, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be quite warm today. They say it's going to be the warmest day of the year so far. So it's the perfect day to start prepping for more late spring flowers into the early summer. I can't wait to find out what Jane's going to have me up to today. I have seen so many seeds in the greenhouse, as well as a huge delivery of seedlings in their utility room. So there is going to be lots and lots to be getting on with today. It feels like we are right in the middle of spring. Have you noticed spring signs where you are? Is the cherry blossom out? The cherry blossom is looking wonderful locally. We were over in Cambridge last week. That's my last vlog, so you'd have seen that on Saturday. And Cambridge in the spring was just stunning. If you've never been, springtime is a great time to go, any time of year, but I think the cherry blossom around the city just honestly looked absolutely beautiful. I think Jane and I are possibly both very, very excited for what the day has got to bring, because I woke up this morning to a text message from her to say, she'd sent this message by the way at 5:30 this morning, I am so excited I cannot sleep. Do you have that same feeling about spending time in the garden? So it said something like, I'm so excited I cannot sleep. Here are the jobs that we can be getting on with today. And she listed everything, and at the bottom she said, you can do as much or as little as you want to do. I want to do absolutely everything. Do you think that's your mummy home? It might be. She's been at tennis this morning. No. Interestingly, Rue is 13, and because our voices sound so similar, he will often like dart between us both, thinking that we're both Jane, but it's nice. And if she's not here, he will just follow me around. I am very close with Rue because when Jane first got him, we were still living in our family home. So he's very, very used to me, and he absolutely loved our mum as she loved him as well. He's had a very, very good dog life. I mean, if you want a dog to have a great life, then pass him on to my sister, because she is dog queen, and you're such a good boy, aren't you? When I arrived yesterday evening, we decided that we would go out for an evening walk, and we went to a little village near here called Shillington. I say it's a little village, it's got quite big over the years, but where we went was like the oldie-woldy area of Shillington, where the church is. There's some beautiful little cottages, horses. Well, rather than me telling you, come on the journey with us. I'll pop in our little walk now, sit back and enjoy village life in the spring.
Winter would bring me
love being outside. Do you have a dog at home, and does your dog just love the sun? He does have a hot water bottle here as well, because it's still quite cold, and often when he's cold he will just snuggle up on his hot water bottle. You love it, don't you? You just love the sun. Well, I am on my second cup of coffee of the day, and I really wanted to show you these mugs because Jane is a bit like me. She's definitely a bargain hunter and uses Facebook Marketplace a lot. And these coffee cups came up over on Facebook Marketplace, but they are of our town of Hitchin. I, as you know, normally like a small cup, but I love these ones because they are of our local town, so I'll just fill it up to about there. She also has an espresso machine, so it's almost home from home in that respect. I know what I'm going to get. Let me show you the little cups of our local town. Here we are. Here is our local town. You can see the beautiful buildings. Let's turn it around. This here is Starbucks, where GB and I met, but it wouldn't have been Starbucks then. I think originally it was a bookshop, then a tea room. They're just lovely, aren't they? I've just heard that Jane's back, so gardening will commence very, very soon. I would absolutely love to know what you're up to in your garden. Maybe pop a comment on here or over on Instagram. I know some of you like to send an email with photographs as well. Do tell me everything. Right, Jane is out with the watering can. She's already started, so I better go. Let's see what we're up to today. These pots here are what I potted up in the autumn. A spring lasagna. Let me just check that. What are these pots called? Something lasagna? Bulb lasagna. A bulb lasagna. And do you remember, Jane, I planted them up in the autumn?
Yeah, right.
Coffee is in hand. It's gloriously sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky, and it's just such a joy spending time in my sister's garden. And Jane has set us up with a job. So our first job of the day is we're going to pot on some teeny tiny, now let me get this right, Lobelia Crystal Palace, which is a tiny blue purple flower. They'll grow to around 10 centimetres, and Jane was saying that she's going to plant these around the border of her garden, but it's definitely time for these plug plants to be potted on. So let's get started. A big bucket of compost there, and some trays to plant them into. I think you know this already, but I love to put my hands in the soil and just be amongst nature as much as I can. Let's show you one of these little plug plants just so you can see how tiny they are, and you can look at the roots. Oh, they're lovely. Definitely time for these to be planted on. You see the really strong root system on here. I'm trying to impress my sister today, so I want to try and keep everything as neat as I possibly can so that she'll have me back in the future. Jane gave me a very, very good tip this morning. If you're not using a tool, use your knuckle just to push down in the middle so you don't get any soil in your fingertips. Push the plug plant in and then very gently cover round. This brings me so much joy. Well, that job's all done and we're on to the next one. So here we have some sea thrift is the nickname for this. And it's a beautiful grass that will grow in a sort of a clump. It likes high sun, it won't grow too high, and it will flower with the most beautiful pink little heads that I can just imagine on a very light breeze will just flow and look beautiful. So we're going to put these on. Again, they're those tiny, tiny plug plants. These are evergreen perennials. Why can't I speak? Sometimes I did this the other day. I can't get a word out. And in my last vlog, I was trying to say the word picnic, the picnic basket. And every time I said picnic, I was confusing myself. I think sometimes, yeah, when you hear yourself in your head, it sometimes doesn't sound right. I know. So these are evergreen perennials, so they'll be green all year round, but then obviously flower. So let's get put in with these. It's all spring go, go, go in the garden. I'm potting on over here and Jane is over on Mum's bench. She's potting on as well. Can you hear the amazing birds? Doesn't it sound lovely? Isn't it amazing to think that these tiny little plants will grow so big and strong? This knuckle trick is just fantastic. I wish I'd have known about that sooner. I'll bring you up over to the workbench and then you can get a closer look. It's a little bit later on now. We've just stopped for a coffee and a few biscuits. When we're together, we like to have something that reminds us of our childhood. And our childhood biscuit of choice would have to be a malted milk. They are just the perfect biscuit with a lovely cup of coffee. When we were children, we used to call them cow's biscuits because they've got the imprint on, haven't they, of the little cow. Well, I have been busy here planting up some farro, which is a recognisable plant that you would often make a bouquet from. It's a very cottage garden plant. I popped some in some pots. They grow to around 40 centimetres and they are really recognised over the summer. They can flower from around May right through the summer if you're lucky. Hopefully we will be. And because they are tall, Jane is going to put them sort of mid-border in her garden. So I think we've got quite a few more to pot on. So we better get started. Right, let's spend a little bit of time over on Mum's bench. I'll let you know what we're doing in a moment. Just finishing off my last cup of coffee of the day. I think this is my third cup, third and last. It's coming up to lunchtime now. Rue's quite settled. We've moved him into the shade. He loves being outside. Any time of year, if Jane is in the garden, well, to be honest, wherever Jane is, he will just follow her around, but he loves to be out here. I know he looks like he spends a lot of time resting. He definitely does spend a lot of time resting, but he'll also have a mad moment or two as well, where he will just run around and let out all of his energy. But he does pretty much rest for most of the day. And I think I've said this to you before, around tea time, when you're about to sit and eat your dinner, is when he will get up and have his mad moment or two. You may remember back in the autumn, I spent quite a bit of time in Jane's garden, and I was helping her prepare the garden for the autumn. I was collecting seeds for the calendula plant, and we did that in the greenhouse. I'll pop a little link up if you want to see what we were up to on that day. And we're going to plant the seeds into those little plug trays that you saw earlier. So we're going to recycle and repurpose what we had earlier on in today's vlog. If you are interested, I think we've got a picture here of what the calendula plant will look like. These are the calendula orange flash variety. They are a gorgeous plant and really flow beautifully in the breeze. You can sow these anytime between March to May, so April's perfect, and then they will flower between May and September. Let's start off by putting those collected seeds into the tray. I've just put the seeds into a little tray and placed them in the bucket so that they don't blow away. One little seed into each tiny little container. Doing an activity like this at the weekend is so mindful, just really does pull you into the season and helps you really appreciate just everything there is to being outside. I just love it. It is honestly the most perfect spring day. We are definitely getting through the jobs today. Jane has been over in the greenhouse sorting that out. I think when you have a greenhouse full of seedlings, there's a lot to do. There's a lot to move around, make sure that they're all getting the sunshine, make sure that they're all watered. And as you become older, you really do find your interest so much more, and you can follow your own path. I think that's one of the biggest joys about becoming older. It's not about what the latest thing is to do, or the latest bar or social event. You do the things that make you happy, and being out on a day like today just brings so much happiness. Let's bring you up a little bit closer and then you can really see what we're doing. There we go, 40 little calendula plants ready to be watered and ready to grow. I'm going to crack on because there's quite a few more seeds to get done, and then I'll show you our next job. So I was just saying that Jane was having a move around of things, and I can see that there's definitely a lot growing in here. I cannot believe what she's got. I'm thinking these are marigolds. Are these marigolds at the top? Yeah. Yes, I got it right. So we've got marigolds. And then these are what we planted earlier. The sea thrift is just here. It's just spring all over in here. So sea thrift. Then at the back, what have we got at the back?
Oh, at the back, dahlias and more calendulas.
So dahlias there, more calendulas that have already started.
Yeah,
I know what these are. We've got geraniums. I wonder what colour. I'm going to guess red. Yes, red. So what else have we got? Sunflower white.
Yeah, mini ones.
Mini ones. Oh, how lovely. And then look at all of these. So what have we got here?
We've got, I can't remember what.
Oh, it says sunflower.
So, yeah, there's sunflowers. There's about
Sunflowers.
6 or 8 rows of little sunflowers that I need to put on.
6 or 8 rows,
The middle
wow.
section's purple kale.
Okay.
That's the dahlia starting to come up.
Oh, right. Oh,
So this is like the last year's dahlia. The bulbs are at the bottom, and then where we started them early in pots, the foliage is starting to come through, which means we'll be able to start them early in the greenhouse.
Oh, that's amazing. Little tomato plants. How many tomato plants have you got? 5.
They don't look very healthy.
Oh, don't they? Well, I think they look great. Looks wonderful in here. We will pretty much follow wherever we are. James popped inside at the moment, so he's moved from the shade back into the sunshine, but he's always nearby. Well, this is very exciting. Jane had a delivery yesterday. We've just sellotapped it from the top, but she said that we could open it together. So cardboard box full of plants, of course, because we're having a spring gardening day today. Wow, oh my goodness, Jane, wait till you see what's in here. Wow. So we've got lobelia in here, but different to the lobelia that we were planting earlier on. These are pot ready to go into the garden. I'll bring them up nice and close so that you can see. These are called the Scarlet Bronze variety. They're perennials, so they'll come back every single year. They grow quite tall, so I'm guessing there's something that's going to go maybe mid-border to further back. But they are called a scarlet bronze because the top of them will be a beautiful scarlet red colour, and then the bottoms of the leaves will become a bronze colour. Can you just imagine that on a bright summer's day? They will just really, really pop in her garden. Whilst I'm standing here, I thought I would mention something that is super special to us. This fontina was lifted from Mum's garden, and it's been moved twice actually, but it absolutely loves this spot. We believe, do correct us if we're wrong, we believe it's a type of red robin, but a variegated one, and we love the red that really does shine through on this plant. Just so thankful that we were able to move it, and Jane looks after it so well. It's such a statement shrub in the garden, and it's such a nice one because when you're standing in the kitchen, you're looking out, it just is in prime position. Absolutely love it. You're enjoying being outside, aren't you? Oh, is this like the best day ever for you? I suppose I better get on with my next job. What do you think, Roo? Yeah? I wonder what that will be. We've prepared the vintage bath. We're going to put the sticks and twigs in this now and then build on that with compost. Okay. Right, feels like patting a cake. Done. Done. Fantastic. Does it need watering?
Yes.
Right, let's water it. Oh, I'm excited too. We'll have to enjoy this when we have a summer barbecue or something. Perfect, that's all done. Well, it's a lot later on now. We've just got a few little tidying up jobs to get done in the garden. I think it's time for us to say goodbye, but I will see you all again next Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. Keep in touch and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now. Come on, let's go and look in the greenhouse. Look at all this work we've done today.